So what's happening, Fragheads? Today we're going to be covering a brand new offering from the house of Tom Ford from the Noir line. This is Tom Ford's Noir Anthracite. Let's go. So the name anthracite means carbon or coal. I thought this was going to be like a mineral, sort of an earthy kind of a fragrance. When I first tried it on, it was very green, it was very earthy. So let's not jump ahead. Before I get into what I got out of the fragrance, what it smells like, let's look at the presentation. So here's the box. You've seen one, you've seen them all. The whole line, the whole Noir line is very alike. You have your batch code, your barcode at the bottom. Nothing really in the back. Top you have the Tom Ford logo, the TF. You also have the T on one side and the F on the other side for Tom Ford. This bottle here has a gunmetal sort of finish. It's very shiny, it's almost like a silver. Again, you have the T on one side and the F on the other side, and your batch code and your information here at the bottom of the bottle. Very cool looking bottle. So from the other flankers, as you see them appear next to me, this one here is very much like the other ones. The whole structure of the bottle itself is very similar to the other ones, whether you get the Noir, which is a all black bottle, whether you get the Noir Extreme, which is a gold cap, and you have this silver here, which is the anthracite, this gunmetal shiny finish to it. They are all the same except for the color schemes that will change and variate the actual bottle presentation, but you've seen one, you've seen them all. This particular fragrance comes in two main sizes. The one you see here, which is a 50 ml that retails for $122, or the bigger side, 100 ml, which will set you back 171 smackaroonies. This is actually my scent of the day. I've been wearing this for a couple of weeks now, on and off, mostly nightwear and some office wearings. So let me tell you what I get out of this scent. All right, so anthracite is mature, it's classic, it's vintagey without being dated. You're going to get a very vintage, classic, traditional feel here. Think about Polo Green, think about Dracar Noir, think about all those old school Fougere and Chypre fragrance. This is actually a Chypre fragrance, and this is exactly what you get. It's those kind of traditional kind of scents. If you're into those vintage scents like I am, you'll absolutely love this fragrance. One thing about anthracite, I also get a wet cement sort of feel, a earthy pavement that was hit by rain after it was really warmed up by the sun, which reminds me of Narciso Rodriguez for him, which I absolutely love that fragrance on rainy days or spring days. So this is going to give you that kind of a feel fused with, like an Azara Pour Homme, especially at the dry down. You're going to have like a Narciso Rodriguez for him meets Azara Pour Homme, which I absolutely love. So I really like the how innovative and how daring Tom Ford is when he puts out fragrances like this. It really, tickles me where I love. So this is something that I was really happy with from the get-go when I first smell this. So if you really wanted to get into the vintage scents, the more traditional scents like the one I mentioned before, the ones that I talked about, Polo Green, Azara Pour Homme, but you think those fragrances are kind of dated and you wanted to experience them with a modern touch, go with anthracite. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, although this is a more mature fragrance. As we get into the seasons, weather and best ages for this fragrance, you'll see it is a more mature, more manly fragrance. So let's get into that. Okay, so anthracite to me is a more dressy kind of occasion. When you're wearing something really nice, you want to evoke a nice elegance, but you want to also let people know that you're an alpha guy. You are in control, you know what you want and where you're going. I think this fragrance here speaks length of exactly the alpha male. And I think if this fragrance was actually released as a private blend fragrance with the name Alpha or Classico Man, I think this would have been an easy $200 fragrance because it is that good. It has that Tom Ford signature touch that we all come to love and expect. We know it's quality as soon as you spray. It's a little bit rugged. It has that rugged, bold, unapologetic feel to the fragrance. It is definitely an alpha male, manly, traditional, very mature kind of scent. I think a gentleman in his 30s, 35 and up, somebody like myself would really pull this off beautifully. If you're a youngster out there and you have a really exquisite taste, you might love this. I think my son would actually love this fragrance because he's a fan of Polo Green, so I think he would definitely love this one. Sprays, I'd say 2 to 3. I don't think, this is really strong stuff. It does last. I wouldn't go more than 3 sprays. You're going to choke people around you, especially if you're going to do this in the office wear. But if you're going to be outdoors, like if you're going into a club or if you're going to a romantic dinner, this would do perfect. You can even do 4 sprays. I would not go above that because it is rather strong. and it's going to be a little bit pungent. Seasons for this fragrance, I think this is an all year round fragrance. You can definitely wear this as a signature scent, especially if you're going to wear this as your go-to for dressier occasions. I think it'll work perfectly. I wouldn't put this on in the dead of heat or in the daytime. I think this is better suited for afternoons and evening wear. If you're going into a place that has AC, if it's controlled, temperature controlled, then I think this would do great. But if it's really the high heat and you're gonna be outdoors, it's a no-no for me. But other than that, all year round, I think it's perfect. When you want to convey elegance, sophistication, but also boldness, and that you're in control, I think this is a perfect scent for that. So let's talk about performance. I got 8+ hours with this fragrance. It really pushes, it's very strong. The projection, you're gonna get 2+ hours, really, really strong. And the sillage is going to be very good. So it's a really nice fragrance. It's gonna stick around. Like I said, 2 to 3 sprays, it's more than enough, especially in this area here. You wanna avoid the face. It's quite strong, and you don't wanna choke yourself up or the people around you in the places that you are, especially if you're in tight locations or close encounters. This could be very, very off-putting if you overdo it. Okay, so final thoughts. Don't expect a mass appeal, crowd-pleasing, universal fragrance. This is not that at all. This is definitely more manly. I love to see Tom Ford taking these leaps and coming up with stuff that's more traditional, reminiscing the old days, the breakthrough, groundbreaking fragrances like Azar Pour Homme, Drakkar Noir, taking those bolder fragrances and giving it a modern twist to them. This is exactly what Anthracite is all about. I really love it. They were aiming for that, and I think they definitely achieved it. But again, it's not going to be a crowd-pleasing fragrance. It's definitely more mature, and it's not one of those fragrances that I think will reach, a mass appeal kind of an acceptance. It's not going to be one of those that you'll see in most top 10 fragrance lists out there, but it's an acquired taste and it's definitely more mature. I definitely love on my top professional scents or office scents. This is definitely one that I'm going to be featuring at like black tie events or, presentations or situations where I'm going into like an evening event. This is definitely suited for those special occasions for sure. One last thing, you cannot find this discounted yet, so if you're looking to buy this but you want to pay discount prices, it's going to be a little while. With Tom Ford, it definitely takes a little longer, but you can find this, like I said, full price, full retail, $122 for the little guy or $171 for the 3.4. 3 words to summarize Anthracite: masculine, traditional, and boss. So that's all I have for you guys today. Comment down in the section below. Have you tried Anthracite from Tom Ford? What are your thoughts? Do you like, love it, hate it? I'd love to read your comments. In the meantime, guys, keep on spraying and know your scents. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.